It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at U-Like, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. U-Like. With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
It is the Pete Sousa Show. Of course, we are presented by our good friends over at Slovakics of West. Of course, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers. Cannot forget about our guys over there. And Sikora Family Ford. Just a great relationship with them. And I always say, if you're looking to get a car, if you're on the fence, that's the place to go. They'll make you feel comfortable, and you'll end up making a good decision, a prudent decision, whatever works for you. And they don't care. Of course, they want to sell cars, but they, ultimately are normal people who aren't going to pester you or make you feel like you're making a catastrophic life decision if you walk out of there because you can't afford a car, right? That's why we love Sikora Family Ford. Extraco, banks, and also Crawford Austin Properties making this all a possibility. Magic Johnson was in studio on First Take. And you get Magic. Come on. Magic is Magic. He's just – and – now, Magic as an analyst can become exposed over a long period of time. Why do I say that? Well, I was talking to my brother Michael yesterday, who is a dedicated sports fan, and we both agreed that Magic Johnson was kind of saying the same thing over and over again when he was critiquing teams. The Lakers had to get faster. He said they had to get faster. Who else? Somebody else had to get faster. The Knicks have to get faster. They got to get faster. And I felt like, you have Magic on for like more than 6 minutes. If you'll hear the same stuff, right? That's if you're talking about today's version of the NBA. But what Stephen A. did with him yesterday, and this feeds into a topic we have been debating here for some time now, and a lot of people have, because it's sports and that's what we do, and this is fun, right? This isn't we're not on a quest to figure out what kind of man Tyrese Halliburton is, right? Or what his character is all about. We are having fun debating, is he a superstar? Is he one of the greats in the NBA right now? And Magic nailed it. He said to Stephen A. Smith yesterday, a superstar is a player who can go on the road and sell out an arena. And that got me thinking. I took a look, right, at this, the stars right now, stars today, okay? Really part of the formula I used, and to use me and formula in the same sentence is scary, especially when I'm the one coming up with the formula. But hey, this is my formula, okay? My formula was, I based it off of, obviously, my experience as a basketball fan day to day, and also first team, second team, third team All-NBA, to give you an idea of like guys that are really impacting the league. I mean, the first, second, third team All-NBA, that stuff's a big deal, man. I don't need to tell you that, but it's so big it can actually lead into players' contracts, making them more money, right? So it is the gold standard as far as awards are concerned. And this year, let me just call it. Let me do that first, because I have a list down here. All NBA 2025. Okay, so let's check it out. I want to go down this list, and these are the best players in the NBA right now. Who do I think could sell out arenas on the road? All right, 2025, 2024-25 Kia All NBA first team. Okay, you ready? The first team. Oh, hold on. Gotcha. Okay. So here's the first team. Giannis, okay, for sure. He sells out arenas on the road. Shai Gilgeous, I would say no. I'm sorry, you can get pissed. I would say no. Joker, yeah. I think there's a novelty to Joker that people want to go see a guy that's that big, play that smart, and be that nimble. And pass the ball like he does. I would take Joker over SGA any day of the week as far as Magic's superstar definition. And then we get to two guys who I do not believe are guys on the road that sell it out. Donovan Mitchell, no. Jason Tatum, no. Again, I'm talking about like to sell out an arena, you got to be close to a household name. Somebody who I can say to my dad at the time when I was a kid, or someone who's casually involved in following the game of basketball, hey, this person is playing at the Spectrum tonight. You're like, well, Michael Jordan came to Philly. It was like, I mean, and now I'm not breaking any news, but even when he was a young man, like everybody, you had to go see Michael Jordan. Allen Iverson was the same thing. You had to go see Allen Iverson. That is a superstar. Dr. J was the same thing. I think about when I was a kid growing up, Dr. J and Kareem, MJ was another one. I kind of forget Iverson's swan song, but these are guys who, when they retired, Larry Bird, I think his retirement was somewhat abrupt. We knew he was going to go down, but he didn't want to do like a victory tour. But those three guys that I mentioned, they were just amazing, right? And you talk about selling out arenas on the road. You just couldn't wait to go see those guys. And the end of their career was indicative of how impactful they were. Because if you remember, Kareem goes on, and you probably don't, because I'm getting a little older here. Kareem goes on a whole tour around the NBA where he's getting motorcycles on. Like, that's a guy, you're selling out arenas on your goodbye tour, your farewell. Dr. J the same way. MJ the same way. Iverson, not so much because he just sort of is, remember he went and played, I think it was in Japan or Korea, and then he came back, or China. It was like, whatever. It was not the best end to a career. Sometimes that happens, right? But certain guys really get to ride off into the sunset, and I think when you go around the country and different arenas honor you and it's sold out because they want to say goodbye, that's an indicator. Back to the current state, because I will get to some of the older players too. It's sort of revealing how great players, some of the best ever, maybe aren't draws on the road, in my opinion. Right now, Jalen Brunson is not a draw on the road. People do not go to see Jalen Brunson when the Knicks are in town. It's not like we got to go see Jalen Brunson. I'm sorry, they don't. Steph Curry, by the way, this is the All-NBA second team. I apologize for that. So this is the NBA's All-Second team. Steph Curry, yeah, everybody goes to see Steph. And it's a combination of who he is as a man. He's undersized, the way he plays. He really ushered in a whole new type of basketball player and excitement around the game. No question about him. All-NBA second team, Anthony Edwards. I'll say, yeah, people go to see Anthony Edwards. That's whether he wants to be the face of the league or not, whatever. Yeah, Anthony Edwards. Also, LeBron James, of course, right? We just got to keep him healthy or off the load management pill so we can see him play. But LeBron, people will go to an arena just to look at LeBron. It's like Charles Barkley said about Michael Jordan when the two were friendly. I'm sure they're still friendly, but they're not friends anymore, at least as far as we know. But he used to go places with Michael, and he said it was like Michael was the only person who people would just crowd around just to watch him do nothing. I think LeBron has some of that too. Let's go to the third team. Again, this is the NBA's best right now. Cade Cunningham, no. Tyrese Halliburton, sorry, no. People are not going to see Tyrese Halliburton on the road. It's not an appointment, right? James Harden, I can't believe he's still All-NBA, third team. You got to give the dude props. I don't think people go to see James Harden on the road anymore. I think they did for sure. Karl Anthony Towns is on this list as third-team All-NBA. I say no for him. Jalen Wilson's on the list. I say no for him. Okay, so those are all on the Magic Johnson scale. And if you're just joining us or you just walked into the room, Magic Johnson's scale is as to what you have to get over, or the scale you have to, how he scales it, is you have to sell out on the road to be a superstar. So I just went down that list of who can. All right, other guys that are great right now that weren't on that list. A couple guys were getting votes. Devin Booker. That's close. I think he's a guy people do go to see on the road. I believe that. Anybody that follows basketball, Devin Booker can explode for 50 points at any night. He's undersized. You get Steph vibes. I would say Devin Booker over Tyrese Halliburton. Sorry, Scotty Swingler. Scotty is not with us right now, so I can get away with all this without being attacked verbally, of course. And Scotty doesn't attack, but boy, he's got opinions, doesn't he? That's Scotty Swingler. You give him 1 week on the show with Zach when I'm gone, and all of a sudden he's in charge. But hey, what are you going to do? Guy works hard. Trae Young is another one. I think he's annoying. I think there was a point in time where he sold out arenas on the road. I think that time has come and gone. And it was a short window for him, but there was a window when Trae Young was indeed a superstar. All right, here's where it gets interesting. I want to go into the greats of all time. Guys that sold out arenas on the road. Shaq, yes. And this is like, basically I'm pulling this again. This is like, and I'm not doing an order of that, and nobody cares enough. But, I basically looked at some of the best basketball players of all time, in my opinion. And I put them down here, and in my lifetime too, because that's how I can kind of pull my information or my opinions from that. Shaq, yes, of course. Allen Iverson, I said him, of course. Dr. J, of course. Kobe, of course. Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah, I'll say he was, for sure. KD, still active, and yeah, still does sell him out. Oscar Robertson, I was not alive when he was playing. Maybe I was at the tail end. I believe he was. He is a guy that I reserve the right to weigh in on. One of the first, because I know enough about his career. One of the first like big guards in the NBA, like Kobe before Kobe, like size-wise, sort of. Guy was a triple-double machine. I mean, that's impressive. Jerry West was another guy. Let's cross him off a list. I say yes. Jerry West sold out arenas wherever he played. I mean, he got the guy's the logo, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I saw him play every game. KG, obviously, yes. Dirk, yes. Barkley, yes. Chris Mullin, yes. Because Chris Mullin was such a prolific passer too. Isaiah Thomas, yes. I think that Isaiah sold out on the road because of how much people hated him. You could even say maybe like Bill Laimbeer helped into that, but Isaiah was the face of the Bad Boys, and it was all him. Kareem, yeah. I think Kareem was certainly a novelty as far as you got to go see him. This is an interesting guy. And I think that sort of Kareem was so dominant in college that sometimes, it's sort of like LeBron as a teenager. Like we've been on this ride with LeBron since, 2000, 2001, 2002, when we were told he was this, this next coming. And he has proven to be that. And then, of course, Wilt, yes, but I wasn't around for that. And Larry Bird, yes. Here are two big ones these are two of the best players of all time. And this is like an asterisk category, who I do not believe at all sold out on the road. And I could be wrong. But they're two big men from the ultimate team situations. Bill Russell, okay, and Tim Duncan. Now, again, Tim Duncan doesn't care what you think of his repertoire as a player and how exciting he is. Bill Russell is dead and gone, but prior to that, he made it very clear he did not care at all what people thought because he was a winner. But I grew up in the Tim Duncan era. I never, ever, when he was at Wake Forest, I remember I was at Richmond. We played them in hoops. They would beat us down, right? But he was just awesome, but there was nothing about him, like he wasn't box office, and Bill Russell, again, I didn't watch him play. I think that was more about the Celtics. People were reverent of the Celtics. People wanted to see that team play. So he was maybe the head of the snake, and I could be wrong on that one, but I definitely am right on Duncan. Okay. That's the one guy that falls through the cracks of the Charles Barkley definition, at least for me, is that did he sell out arenas on the road like himself? I don't think Bill Russell did that, but again, I might not be qualified to say that because I didn't grow up when he was playing, obviously, right? Look at this guy. Okay, the Pete Sousa Show will continue to roll on. I thought that was an interesting topic, and I think, what Scotty can pull from this when he sees this is that SGA nor Tyrese are superstars, according to the Magic Johnson. Well, I say SGA is. Again, I'm going by the Magic scale, not my scale. But I would say by the Magic scale, SGA is. But I would say Tyrese is not. He is not. He is not selling out arenas on the road. I'm sorry, he's not. If you're going to see your team play the Pacers and right before the game, you learn that Tyrese Halliburton isn't playing, you're kind of like, oh, damn. But you're not like, oh, that's why I'm going. No, that ain't happening. All right. Pete Sousa Show continues. We're going to come back. Big 12 basketball, the Matrix. We're going inside the Matrix, baby. Let you know what we think about this. The Pete Sousa Show continues after this.
Dive into adventure with Scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust Scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at Scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
The Matrix. That's right. We're going to the Matrix right now. What was that guy's name from the Matrix? Neo. Yeah, I'm no Neo. By the way, I am, though, Cam Scattaboo. All right, so there is a story behind this jersey. And this leads into my next topic. When I was doing Inside the 12 last year during football season, and we were looking at every week, we would look at, okay, you know, who is potentially going to be a college football playoff team in the Big 12? Because there were a lot of teams that were gunning for that top spot in the conference, but it became clear as the season went on that only two were going to get a bid, right, to the college football playoff, or at least that's what the educated thought was. And we come to find out that Arizona State is making a push, but it's not looking great. But Cam Scattaboo, I fell in love with him. I believed in him. There was something special about that team. I believed in Kenny Dillingham. So I would say in a production meeting, hey, we got to keep an eye on Arizona State. I was literally laughed off of a text message thread. I mean, I didn't leave. Nobody kicked me off, but I was like, nobody believes that Arizona State can do this. And I did. And guess what? So did they. And we all did it together. So Kenny Dillingham, this jersey's for you. Cam Scattaboo, looking forward to seeing what you do next year with the Giants. Just take it easy on my Eagles. Sam Levitt, people are starting to talk about you. They're talking. Top 15 pick. We'll see. Okay. Could he go higher? Could he go lower? Sure. But he looks like a first-round talent. We're going to talk about Big 12 basketball right now, though. So there's a lot of excitement around the Big 12. And why not? Some of the statistics are mentioned in the conference's release of this information. And to give you some background on why this conference was so good, let's just talk quickly. Just one note, ESPN listed 3 Big 12 programs, men's programs, among its top 10 basketball transfer portal winners, right? That was, hold on. Okay. Let me start over again. I screwed that up. All right. Let's go men here first, because we were talking about women. We're going to talk about men today. Okay, so Big 12 teams, never be afraid to do a little reset on live TV, right? It's all, I learned this doing local news. What are you going to do? We're all human. And if you're like me, you screw up a lot, so you get good at recovering. All right, Big 12 teams led the nation, this is men's, with a 66.7 winning percentage in the 2025 NCAA tournament. Of course, that was highlighted by Houston's trip to the championship game. 7 conference teams were selected into the Big Dance. That marked the 6th consecutive time at least 6 Big 12 basketball squads were picked for the tournament. And guys, Texas Tech, Houston, obviously, BYU. Like, this conference is going to be better than ever next year. You got Arizona, of course, right? Who's going to be banging on the door again. There is so much to be excited about. And as I go through this list, because here's what was released. This was earlier yesterday. The Big 12 announced the conference scheduling matrix. That's what this is called. I am Neo right now. For the 25-26 men's and women's basketball seasons, each school has a home and home with 3 other conference opponents and faces the other 12 opponents once. Make sense? Makes sense. With 6 at home and 6 on the road, making up an 18-game Big 12 schedule. Remember, last year, the conference schedule was 20 games. And everywhere I went, calling games for ESPN, that was something that, and again, if everybody's doing it, the playing field is even, you would think. But I can't tell you how many times I had men's basketball in the Big 12 coaches tell me last year, like, there's just nowhere to hide. There's no place in this conference where you can go and get well. One coach told me last year that this is the conference where a 3-game losing streak can become a 7-game losing streak awfully quick. That's how competitive it is. It's a bloodbath every night. And it looks like we're going to have some more of those bloodbaths as far as when you look at the schedule, dates and teams that are going to play one another. But those 2 last games, I believe, will do a great service to some of these coaches and their ability to really just get a practice in once in a while, once the season starts. That will allow a little more wiggle room for that. You think 2 games is not a big deal? It is when you consider all the travel that goes into it. Each game really is kind of eats up like 2 or 3 days, right? So you're talking about now you got maybe 6 extra days with your program, judging if you went on the road or not. So let's get into this. We'll go alphabetically. This is the matrix that has been released, and you'll understand exactly how it works when I tell you this now. We're going to start with Arizona. Okay. And no offense to Arizona Wildcat fans. I had decided to wear this to celebrate Arizona State in the Big 12 prior to knowing that I was doing this. So there's no allegiance to Arizona State over any other Big 12 team. This is more so a feather in my cap from last year that, hey, once in a while, I'm right. And I was right about Arizona State. I mean, people had them dead to rights. I had them going to the college football playoff, in November. Thank you. Okay, let's get off our, what do they call that? High horse. Yeah, high horse. Definitely not shine box. Yesterday was Billy Bats Day. That's a whole nother. Look it up if you need to. Or 2 days ago was. Okay, Arizona. Here's their Big 12 conference schedule. Again, no dates yet, no times, no networks. That will be released in the near future. But Arizona is home only. Right? Because remember, there's going to be 3 teams that Arizona plays on the road. Home only for Arizona: Cincinnati, Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, West Virginia. away only for Arizona. Baylor. So that's interesting. We got Arizona is coming back to Baylor. They played at Baylor last year. So it'll be Baylor, UCF, Houston, TCU, and Utah. Those are the road games for Arizona. Both home and road, those 3 appointments with conference opponents. Arizona State, you love that. You love that. Arizona and Arizona State will play 2 times this year. Colorado and Utah. That's a nice draw. If I could pick 2 teams that I would want to play twice, judging off of last year, and barring any magnificent turnaround, Colorado and Utah aren't bad. A couple of bottom feeders last year. Okay, here's Baylor. Arizona State, both come to Waco. BYU, we're going to have some fun then, right? Rob Wright returning to Waco. Colorado, Texas Tech, and Utah. Those are the opponents, home-only opponents for Baylor. Away only, UCF, Cincinnati, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, West Virginia. I want to make sure I'm thinking about this. I'm not just reading it. Going on the road to play at Kansas is tough. But outside of that, I'm feeling pretty good about this away-only schedule, right? UCF, Cincinnati, Kansas State. That's a real tough place to play. Oklahoma State, West Virginia. I mean, it's doable. You can live with that. Baylor, both. Houston twice again. Man, that's tough. Iowa State twice and TCU twice. Now that is a rough double dip there to have to go ahead and play Houston twice, Iowa State twice, and we're not quite sure about TCU yet. We'll find out. But we know Houston and Iowa State are going to be real good. UCF. Oh, no, sorry. Let me not skip ahead. BYU, home only, Arizona State, UCF, Colorado, Houston, Iowa State, and TCU. Away only. This is again for BYU. Baylor, Cincinnati, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, West Virginia. That's difficult. So you're going to play at Baylor, the whole Rob Wright thing. That'll be just probably a little exhausting. You play at Kansas and you play at Kansas State. Again, Kansas State is one of those things, even if they're having a rough year, you don't want to go play there. Like if Kansas State is 500 in the conference or a little below and you've got an appointment with them, in the Octagon of Doom, I call it the Octagon of Death once almost, and a producer corrected me, but we didn't say it on the air. So Armadillo Assassin aside, I've been pretty accurate with them. So you play Kansas State, though, at Bramlage Fieldhouse. That's tough, right, in January, regardless of how good they are. And then you look at both. BYU plays Arizona twice. They play Texas Tech twice, and they play Utah twice. Arizona and Texas Tech twice. That's tough. BYU has a tough schedule. Clearly, they've got the talent. They got the horses, but they're going to be tested. This schedule says so. You got to play Arizona twice, Texas Tech twice, Baylor on the road, Kansas on the road. That's a tough draw. We move on now. UCF. UCF home only against Arizona and Arizona State. Baylor goes to UCF. I don't even know that Baylor has played a road game at UCF yet. I don't think they have. Kansas, TCU, and Texas Tech. They all go to Orlando. Away only. They play at BYU. I know they played at BYU a few years ago because I called that game, and they lost it. And that was really something that kind of was a death nail into their tournament hopes. It was late in 2023, I think. But they'll be back in Provo. They also play Colorado on the road, Houston on the road, Iowa State on the road, Kansas State on the road, and Utah. And both for UCF, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, and Virginia. We move on now to Cincinnati. Home only. Baylor, BYU, Colorado, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and Utah. Okay. Cincinnati's a tricky place to play. It can get awfully loud. We saw Baylor lost a real tough one to them on the road last year. It's just a difficult place to play. Away only for Cincinnati. Arizona State, Kansas State, TCU, Texas Tech. Both for Cincinnati, both UCF, Houston, and West Virginia. That's not terrible. Like West Virginia, and UCF are total question marks. So that's not bad to have play those guys twice. All right, here's Houston. Home only. Arizona, and that game's going to be awesome because Houston at Arizona in Tucson last year was amazing. So they get the Wildcats at home. Houston does. They play Arizona State at home as well. They play UCF at home, Colorado, Kansas State, and West Virginia. I would say outside of Arizona, Utah will run through that home slate like a hot knife through butter, okay? The home-only slate. Away only, BYU, that's tough. Iowa State, that's tough. Kansas, that's tough. And then Oklahoma State, TCU, and Utah. And you play both Baylor, you play them twice, home and road, Cincinnati twice, and then you play Texas Tech twice. That's difficult. And that has become a great rivalry, and the Big 12 is so smart to pit these two teams against each other twice this year. And I understand it falls within that matrix that it not only makes sense for fans and people like me to be like, oh my gosh, this is great. We get to explore this rivalry a little more, but also it makes sense by way of the parameters and the formula that the Big 12 is using to put this schedule together, right? It's considering so much stuff, and it's even, I get tired thinking about it. Let's go to Iowa State. Home only, Arizona State, UCF, Colorado, Houston, Texas Tech, West Virginia. Away only, Arizona, BYU, Cincinnati, Kansas State, TCU, and Utah. Both. This is a tough one. Baylor twice, Kansas twice, and then you got Oklahoma State twice. Quite the wild card. But Arizona State, UCF, Colorado, Houston, Texas Tech, West Virginia. A lot of fun games in there going to Hilton Coliseum. Let's go to Kansas now. Home only. Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, TCU, Utah. That's 50-50. I don't mind that if I'm Kansas. Away only. Arizona State, UCF, Colorado, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. That's actually a really nice home slate outside of Texas Tech. Road slate. And then Kansas both plays Arizona twice, plays Iowa State twice, and plays Kansas State twice. That's tough. That is a tough tango for for Kansas to have to play those two schools. Kansas State, every time you play them, it's a fist fight, right? Because of the rivalry. Iowa State, playing them twice will just wear you down thinking about it. And Arizona twice. Kansas has their work cut out for them as far as that home and road opponent is concerned, those three games. Oklahoma State, home only. Baylor, BYU, Houston, Kansas, Kansas State, West Virginia. They're really going to have to win a couple of those big games at home to kind of get their fan base charged up. Obviously, they'll have all preseason to do that. But, you beat BYU, Baylor, Houston, or Kansas at home. That's an opportunity to get your fan base behind you and to believe in you. Second year under a new coach. So look forward to seeing Oklahoma State get in the mix here and improve this coming year. Oklahoma State, away only. Arizona State, Cincinnati, Colorado, Texas Tech, and Utah. Oklahoma State, both. UCF, Iowa State, and TCU. Okay, interesting. Texas Tech. No, let's not skip TCU. We can't. We got to go to Fort Worth. We love Fort Worth. Okay, TCU, home only. Arizona State, Cincinnati, Houston. Something popped up on my computer. Let me shut that down. Iowa State, West Virginia. I mean, you got that's actually tough. You got Houston, Iowa State, and Arizona coming, but Arizona State, Cincinnati, West Virginia. Okay, I like those at home. We got to get more people in the stands, guys, but I like those at home. Away only. They go to BYU, where they lost a few years ago in Provo. They go to UCF, Colorado, Kansas, Texas Tech, and Utah. Manageable. Okay, both. They play Baylor twice, which is awesome. We love that. I love how the Big 12 is still working to hang on to these rivalries because it's not easy when you put these schedules out. But that is a great rivalry that I'm so psyched we continue to, that is the real deal. From somebody like me from Philadelphia coming to Texas, I had no idea that those schools hated each other as much as they do. Sports hate, fun hate, but they do. So that's a fun one. The Baylor and TCU will play twice this year. Kansas State and Oklahoma State, those other home-and-home opponents for TCU. All right, coming down the stretch here, 3 more left. Texas Tech. They play Cincinnati, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, TCU, and Utah at home. That's pretty good. Away only. And by the way, those are home only. Away only. Arizona, Arizona State, Baylor, UCF, Iowa State, West Virginia. And then Texas Tech, both is BYU, Colorado, and Houston. Tough schedule for Texas Tech when you think you got to play BYU and Houston twice. And you have to go on the road to face Baylor again and Iowa State and also Arizona. So that's by no means a walk in the park for Grant McCaslin and his squad. But they've got some magic going on there, so I trust that they'll be fine with it. Utah, home only. Arizona, UCF, Houston, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, TCU. Looking forward to a new arena in Salt Lake City coming there for the Utes. Not this year, but with a brand new coach, Alex Jensen, the Utes will be running again. We'll be calling them the running Utes more and more often. As I've learned, by the way, that's specific for Utah basketball. Away only. Baylor, Cincinnati, Kansas, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. And both Utah will play Arizona State, BYU, and Colorado. So that's actually somewhat favorable. BYU twice, but Arizona State and Colorado. Look, if you're looking at your schedule and you're thinking, where can we maybe get some wins? Those are 2 schools where, look, people are looking at that and thinking, quite possible you can get wins there. So you play those teams twice, Utah, you're like, man, maybe that's four wins if we can get this thing going and get hot. When you play Arizona State and Colorado twice. All right, last one, West Virginia. A lot has changed there over the course of the past 3 months. But let's get into their schedule. West Virginia, home only, Baylor, BYU, Colorado, Kansas, Texas Tech, and Utah. Away only, Arizona, Arizona State, Houston, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and TCU, and both UCF, Cincinnati, and Kansas State. Well, if you stayed with me through all that, you don't win anything, but we really, really appreciate you. And it's pretty awesome that the Big 12 has me excited for college basketball on June 13th. You know, that's pretty cool. So I'm pumped about that, pumped that you guys are on this ride with us, pumped to do Inside the 12 again this year, and just can't wait to get it all started.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level when we shut down to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.